Welcome everyone to this episode of Nerd Caliber. Today I'm with Jacobella Luongo, an excellent Rey cosplayer. Before we talk about this great charity thing that you're doing called Reading with Rey, let's talk about your cosplay a little bit. Tell us how did you put this together?
Oh boy. Well, this one that I'm wearing now, I wanted to wear this one for you guys because this is what I used for Reading with Rey. And I had an original Rey cosplay that I spent a very long time building. And then when quarantine happened, I wasn't quarantined in my own house for a while. It was because of all this complicated stuff. And so I didn't have it. And I was like, what, am I going to do? I had the idea. I wanted to do it. So this actually is a closet cosplay that I made from things that I had in the house. This shirt is so old, and it was like an old white t-shirt. I coffee dyed it in a pot with boiling water for numerous times. This was an old curtain, and I just ripped it off the wall, and I was like, nobody wants this, so let me see what I can do. And I sliced it right down the middle, and it actually worked out really well. I tried to use an old scarf that I found, but that scarf was more of a brown color, and it didn't really match with like what I was looking for her costume. And so I tried. I didn't. This whole process, I had no idea that you couldn't actually bleach polyester. Which now that I know that, I feel very silly. But I didn't for like a solid 4 days. So I was taking the scarf and I was bleaching it, and I kept being like, I don't understand why it's still brown. I was like, if I bleached anything else, it would be like white by now. And my friend, who's a costume designer, they were like, well, Bella, that's because it's polyester, so I'm not gonna change the color. So it's been an adventure. I've learned many new things, and I built this sort of like, this isn't the real one that I have, but it's what I've been using for while I've been in quarantine for Reading with Rey.
Okay. Did you have to do anything special with makeup? Was it tough, like doing the hairstyle?
Well, the makeup, I think she even wears even less in the film than what I'm wearing now. I like to line my eyes. I like to do stuff like that and kind of define my features a little bit more, because I feel like with the light, it just gets so washed out that I look, like I'm not. I need to like make sure you can see my features and stuff. So the makeup is honestly kind of just what I do for my normal day look. I'm going to work or whatever. And the hair was tough in the beginning. Because I looked at it at first and I was like, it has to be simple, right? It's 3 buns. It's like a bun hawk, which is awesome in my opinion. And I was like, it can't be that bad. And then I was looking at it more and I was like, you know what? There are some intricacies here. Like for this one, this is supposed to be Force Awakens Rey. So her hair, and if you look, even though they keep her hair the same generally in all films, it slightly differs every time. So like in the Force Awakens, she has like this little gathering at the top here before you go into the bun hawk. In Return of the Jedi, it's like half down. And then in Rise of Skywalker, it's the 3 buns still, but she has it like straight up here. There's like a what do you call it? Like a part that you can see, and then it goes back into it. And the Force Awakens one kind of gave me, it's a little more messy. She's like in the desert, and I mean, she's like working hard and sweating in all of them, but she's like on Jakku, she's covered in dirt, she's like, this is my life. And I was like, that gives me a little more freedom to sort of, if it's not perfect, it gives me a little more freedom. Very wind blown, so I kind of just went with that.
Okay. So I'm really impressed that you made this just pretty much from what you had around the house. Did you have to do any like pinning or sewing or anything like that?
Oh my gosh. Originally, I tried to like sew because the way that her body wraps go, the one part loops around, it's actually one continuous piece. So these are actually 2 pieces. And for my purposes right now, I was like, I think it's okay, because especially for Reading with Rey, I'm just sitting. You're only going to see the top half. So I don't have pants finished for this at all. Those pants, I have them, but they're with my other like original, cosplay that I had money and time to put into. So when I get that back, that'll be awesome. But for now, I was thinking about trying to sew these together and make one continuous loop, like that's more screen accurate. That's what she has. But and I did on the other one actually. And hilariously enough, I didn't have a sewing machine, so everything that I've done has been has been by hand, which is a little bit takes a very long time. It can be like strangely cathartic if you're stressed out and you're like, I'm just gonna sew this thing for a while. Like it can help, but it would also be cool if I had a sewing machine, I think. But this one, I just left it because I felt like for the purposes of the little show, you know, I'm not gonna stand up, so you won't have to see, you know, that I'm missing like the right pants and everything for her right now. So yeah, this one's kind of, she's like, she's just here from what we found in the house, really, and some coffee, some genuine coffee dyeing. Yeah.
Well, that looks great.
Thank you. That means a lot to me, really, because I was really stressed about this. I was like, people are gonna think I'm a joke. Like they're gonna be like, what is this girl doing? But then I was like, you know what? I hope I can spread some joy in these really, really difficult times. So I'm just going to do it anyway, even if I don't feel like my cosplay is perfect yet.
So right now you're doing a special charity right now during this time called Reading with Rey. What is that about?
Well, it's first off, it's not affiliated with Disney or anything like that. I'm not that cool. It's literally just me in my house being like, I wanna connect to people, like especially in the beginning of this pandemic. The first like 4 weeks was me just panicking and like I was like, I don't know what's happening. The world is falling apart and I'm terrified. And then I was like, you know, a lot of people are terrified, Bella. The whole world is terrified right now. And then I started thinking about kids. You know, I love Star Wars. I've always sort of gone back to the films whenever I've been stressed. I like to rewatch them and they bring me a lot of hope and inspiration. And the books and the comics. So I started doing that. And then I was like, you know, my whole job, everything that I care about in acting has always been this idea of human communication. Like how can we connect people who maybe have nothing in common, have nothing to do with each other, but every human being understands what it is to be a human being, right? That's how I feel. Like that's a very general statement, but that's sort of what I'm trying to get at. So if that's true, and if that's what I've tried to do anyway in my profession, in my life, why, you know, cosplay, I was drawn to it. It just, I love costumes. It's fun. I just love it. But because of this connection thing, I've met so many amazing people through doing this because we love the same characters and because we're inspired by the same things. And a lot of that applies to little children. And I've wanted with my cosplay, what I've wanted to do out in the world is use it for charities, for little kids. That means the world to me. And so I was thinking, what can I do? I felt useless. I felt helpless. I couldn't help the people I love. I'm not a doctor. I was like, I feel like I can't do anything. So the one thing I can do is tell a story. Like I know I do that. So what stories do I love? I love Star Wars. So what if I can use these stories to inspire people as they've inspired me? So that's where the idea came from. And essentially it's just 5-minute Star Wars stories. They start from the beginning of the Skywalker saga all the way to the end. And now I'm super excited. We've started a second book because people asked me to keep doing it. And I was like, yeah, oh my God, cool. And I try and keep them as short as possible. You know, the idea of like a bedtime story for a little kid, they're roughly 5 minutes, all of them. And they're picture books. They have awesome pictures in them. They're written really well, all published by, you know, Lucasfilm and Disney Press. It's not me. I did not write them. But and I wanted them to be very accessible, very free, and very available for any little kid that might have been struggling in this kind of really confusing and scary time with characters that they already know and that they already love, you know, to talk about things that inspire them. And the first episode, I sort of addressed, like as Rey, I was like, you know, I've been alone on Jakku. These are things that I'm thinking about. And these stories have always inspired me in times of darkness or confusion or fear. And so I wanted to share them with you, like the idea of trying to connect people when we really can't connect the way that we used to, you know? That's the hope of it. That's the hope of it.
Where can people view these videos?
They are on my Instagram and my Facebook and now my official website, which I just figured out how to do. They are, so my Instagram handle is at Jacobella Luongo, and that's spelled like Jacobella, the first name, Luongo. And you can find them all there on my IGTV channel, and then on my Facebook as well, which is also Jacobella Luongo. It's all the same name, and the website is also jacobellaluongo.com, and you can go under my media, and there's an entire section there that's only dedicated to these charity videos. They're all free, And if you have any questions or you don't know how to access it, feel free to DM me on Instagram. That's where I usually get the most. You can try any of those avenues, but the best one for me is usually Instagram. And I'll tell you where it is. I'll send it to you. They're for everyone, in hopes that we can all, enjoy something we love together while we have to be so far apart.
Okay. For anyone out there that wants to do something something similar that you're doing, whether it be charity or something that they can use their cosplay for some sort of good work, what would you recommend? What would you advise?
I would say, let's see. I would say first off, awesome. That's really cool of you, and I love you, and like that's dope. And then I would also say there are ways that you can get involved. You can start with your community and think about whatever character it is that you cosplay. I mean, many superheroes can apply to this, and many little kids love these things. So whether it's reaching out to a local hospital, you can always do that, and you can say, hey, I want to do visits. What's the deal with that? What's your protocol? What are the rules? And people, when they find out that you just want to help and be involved and give whatever it is that you can, they will literally be like, okay, well, this works, so this doesn't, and this is how this works. There's also a lot of organizations in cosplay, I think, already that help run these things. You can reach out to a few of them, and I would say go for it, because I think it's beautiful. It's also helped me, like, as a human. It's helped me feel a little bit better and given me a little bit of a purpose in this really, really hard year. It's been half a year now, which is crazy. But yeah, I would say start there. And if you have a social media, if that's something that you're into, I would say start with, giving people content. If you want to do a story, if you have a character that you love and there's like a storybook about it, maybe try that. Maybe try making little videos where you can answer questions for little kids. And essentially, especially for little kids, structure it for them. Make sure that it's appropriate and accessible for little ones, and go from there. I think that's awesome. I think you should do it.
Okay. And one more question. For anyone that wants to help support you and your causes, where can they go? Is it same things, your social media, or is there a way to donate money or books to help you?
Yeah, oh my gosh, if you wanted to, that would be a miracle. But it's at my Ko-Fi. So I have a Ko-Fi website as well. And that's also just Jacobella Luongo. I wanted to I know my name is like very long and and foreign, and it's like unusual for people. So I wanted to keep it the same for all the outlets. And my Ko-Fi can be found. You can make donations there. I tell you about the projects that I'm working on. I'm trying to expand Reading with Rey a little bit. I want to get different backgrounds, like for her. We'll see if I can add, if other cosplayers that have other Star Wars characters want to join me for like a special guest thing. We'll see what ends up happening with how much I can pull off. But I do want to expand it a little bit. And the place to do that, I mean, if you wanted to, that would be amazing. And it's definitely my Ko-Fi. And that's on my Instagram profile and my Facebook and my website. You can see a link to help Bella make things is the link on my website. And the Ko-Fi is linked on my link tree on the Instagram and Facebook. So you'll find it there. And if you wanted to, you could absolutely donate. That would be very nice of you.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this. I wish you well in your charity and your work. And I'll put all that information also in the description in the video. And everyone watching this, thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you to do something as well. And be safe out there.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Stay safe. May the force be with you.